there are two answers to this question. One is the customer-centric answer, which is have some empathy, be a good human, right? Think about what would you expect a brand to do or not to do, right? Just because you can use all these digital tools and tracking technologies and measurements and audience segments, it doesn't mean that you have to use them, right? Be humble and be careful in the way you use these technologies. The second answer to that is a business answer, which is, think about it. You have 3 audience segments and you have a customer journey with 17 touch points, and for each of them you need to create assets with, let's say, 5 different messages. That gives you a whole lot of assets that you need to create, so there are business and budget limitations to actually refining the customer journey. So by overlapping common sense and customer centricity and business aspects, you will get to a decent middle ground, and that's probably where you should draw the line. First of all, that essentially means that you have to work way harder and provide way more benefit to actually still attract the more older generations that also have a little bit more disposable income, right? The second one is that these generations that are now parting more easily with their data understand the trade-off, the benefits that they get, but they will also mature into a workforce that is maybe at some point later in the future a little bit more sensitive. So it's better to set the bar higher rather than lower for your personalization and brand experience efforts. And the third one is, being super transparent about what you do and why you use that data always goes a long way. A quick example I can share is I worked with a fashion retailer and we did a live fashion show, and people could put dresses in light boxes. And we asked for permission to use their geolocation, or in case where they were on a desktop, for their postcode. And what we did with that, and we were clear and transparent about that, is that we said, hey, you know what? We want to provide a great customer experience. We want to reduce the frustrations of you going to the shop and the thing you actually like not being there. We will adjust our inventory based on how popular this is in your area. And on top of that, it also gave us a green consciousness, because we could tell people, instead of going to the shops, not finding it, then having it shipped online and then it doesn't fit and you send it back and then we have to destroy the item and then send you a new one, we actually do something good for the environment and you get your dress that you actually like. So that was a fantastic way of personalization and a great customer experience, just with a simple thing like a geolocation and a postcode. And people loved that because it showed them clear benefits and value. So the 3 things you have to keep in mind when doing personalization are very simple, right? First of all, be contextually relevant. Make sure that you appear in the right place at the right time, use the right kind of communication, be functional when you need to, be emotional when you need to, and accompany your customer along his customer journey. The second one is be consistent in that journey, and that's a call for frictionless customer experiences and messaging. If you think about it, we're working on so many different silos and departments and projects that consistency towards the customer that we have identified with our tone of voice and the way we approach him is very important, because brand is a piece of trust. And the third one is this idea of being a good citizen, being a good partner for your customer, being customer-centric, using empathy, not being creepy, not measuring everything you can, because at some point collecting a lot of data can also be a liability. So you want to make sure that you collect the right data and you do the right thing for your customer in order to personalize for him, but not more and not less.